Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Lilly's Sketchpad, brought to you by Force One Studios. Of course, I am Force One Studios. I am your host, Tom Lilly, as the name says below. Today, I am working on a piece that I downloaded from Elliot Fernandez's Gumroad account. I bought this for like $5, man. If you guys want to check it out, yeah, it's sets it up so that you can ink it. And as you see, I already started inking. I partially inked some of it already, but it's really cool. It's a great practice piece, and I really enjoy working with it. Guys, check it out for yourself. I have at the top, if you look up at the top of here, I have the Gumroad account listed, so you can check it out for yourself. Also, I will obviously put this in the description, so you can check that out as well. If you want to go to his Gumroad account, he's got several cool things on there. But this was just something I liked, that I wanted to practice. I'm still learning myself on how to appropriately use this Clip Studio Paint. I only recently went digital. For years and years and years, I was traditional. Because, well, I mean, really, I didn't go to digital because I wasn't doing this professionally. I was only doing this as a means of, enjoyment, entertainment, and because I always loved doing artwork. I was tried to be work in this industry professionally many years ago, but wanted to found my wife and got married, wanted to get a house, actually wanted to get an apartment together, so forth and so on, and my obligations changed. This way. There we go. All right. Back then, it was expensive to get an apartment. Today, I can only imagine what it's like for people now. Of course, I'm paying rent, so I know exactly what it's like. It's dang near impossible unless you got a really decent job or you're willing to live in a little bit of a riskier place. I might have. You know why I'm having such a horrible time with this? Is because I'm starting off cold. I should have done a warm-up. But that's okay. This is my warm-up. Like a better words. Probably zooming in too much. That's part of the problem. Working too close. So, anyway, let's pull this a little closer here. Get myself a little better set up. I will say, Doing this live with this video setup and everything does not make it easy. I'm not to say live pre-recording, because this is a pre-recorded video, but I need to relax a little bit. Somehow I always feel like, well, people are watching me now. I gotta really make sure this stuff really looks good. And then I tense up. And when I tense up, then the artwork doesn't look as good. I really need to start developing some shortcuts for this thing. Hope y'all enjoy this music. It's soothing to me. My son introduced me to this melody performed for a TV show in Japan. Apparently, it was Beethoven. It was like a comical version of a Beethoven riff, and Beethoven. It's called Beethoven Virus, and I started using it in my videos. Pieces of it, just in case there was a copyright infraction on it. Yeah, I mean, copyright thing on it. I didn't want to get in trouble, although he was telling me no, it's not, because it's a Beethoven piece. It was a rendition. It was done for a video or TV series in Japan, or used for a TV series in Japan, but there, as far as he knows, there's no copyright on it. So, but just in case, I only used pieces of it. But I really enjoyed it and I like it, so I was like, well, I would like to use more classical pieces. And I did some investigation and research in it, and I found out that classical pieces, while they have no copyright on them because they well, everybody knows they're from the famous musicians of the history, there is a copyright on as far as who performs the piece. So you have to be careful what you use. So I went under copyright-free music and looked up Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. I liked Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and I found this under copyright-free. So I was like, "Oh, cool!" I downloaded it. You can find it on YouTube video. Copyright-free music streaming services, also on SoundCloud. Yeah, it's copyright-free stuff. Try to avoid getting that copyright strike if you can. Anyway, there we go. Now, interesting enough, I am noticing that there is stuff in here that I can't see on my tablet, but I can see them on the video or through the on my screen. As I'm watching the thing on the OBS of the studio, the program version, and I'm seeing blue lines that I cannot see on my tablet. This is a Huion GT by the way, GT191 that I'm using. I wanted to start off with a Cintiq, Wacom or Wacom, whatever everybody calls it, yeah. But they're very, very expensive. Getting my wife to agree to spend several $1,000s. I mean, I could probably get the 13-inch for. Well, I know I can get the 13-inch for far less, but I didn't want 13-inch. I wanted a bigger screen. I wanted to feel like I'm drawing on a 11 by 17 paper. Although I'm quickly realizing after I did this that because you're able to maneuver the image around, it really doesn't matter. So I don't know, maybe I will go to 13 HD on the Wacom. Although there's a part of me, my little ego, saying, no, 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 no. The prices on the larger ones are coming down if you go with the older version. Mainly speaking about the 22-inch. The 22 Wacom 22 HD. I've seen them for like $1,100 now. Still quite a pretty penny. 24 chose to go with something like that would cost you significantly more. Oh, you should say about $900 more. My family is all home. So I don't know. I try to set it up so that my microphone is taking out all the background ambient noise. So all you're hearing hopefully is the music and my voice. I should be doing this live. I don't know why I'm not doing this live. I grew an appreciation for classical music, believe it or not, from Warner Brothers cartoons. Now, was it always the music that I would listen to the most? No. In the 80s, I was, say, early 80s, before I became a headbanger, I would listen to a lot of hip-hop, bebop, stuff you could breakdance to. Yes, I was one of those guys. My younger years. I'm gonna say I was fantastic at it, but I prepared my own for a little while. Then I really started getting the heavy metal. Quiet Riot. Smaller brush. I'll go with the 15 on this one. Go. It was a drastic swing, actually. Think about it, music-wise. I went from listening to songs from Prince, Donna, Shaka Khan, that fun stuff, to listening to Quiet Riot, AC/DC. Come on. There we go. That's better. It's better. thicken this line up a little bit. Just gotta remember something. Alright, when you're drawing this, even digitally, there's gotta be some line depth here. I want these fingers to come as like, I guess it's almost the same, but in the background the line should be smaller to allow the fingers to look like they're coming forward, giving that 3D effect. Now, my line work's not looking very clean, very up close, but that's okay. It's when I pull away, you're going to see that there's really not that much variation. I want some variation because, again, I want it to look natural. Drawing with a brush, not every stroke is going to be straight, pristine, going straight from. At least not my strokes, because that's not the way I work. Don't get me wrong, there's some artists out there. Wow, look at their stuff. I'm like, you look like you use some kind of professional straight edge tool to get that stroke to go so evenly. That's not my style. I used to resist this when I was younger and try to do straight edge or the very straight thin lines and very particular lines. I was emulating a good friend of mine, Chris Gardner, because his work was just like the way he did his lines. And it worked. The one thing that was really, really, really interesting about his work was that his lines were so well done, even though his line work. I should say line work. His line work with pen looked like he was using brush. He amazed everybody with it. He was using pens for years. Then he started going brushwork. And as a matter of fact, he was the one who actually got me started using brushes, because I was using multi-liners and all that fun stuff, using a lot of pens, quill pens, and then again, wanting to be like him with his artwork, started trying to use brushes. And in the beginning, I was horrible. But I also realized something. In the process, I was trying to make my brushes, or my pen, or my brushwork, or my, and never mind. I was trying to make one thing look like the other, and it wasn't working well for me. Yeah, I think I'm actually kind of liking the fact that not all of the line work, the blue line work that is on Elliot's original, is showing through the tablet, because it's allowing me to give some of my own interpretation. So, some of my own spin on his work. Of course, then every once in a while, I look up and I see, oh, there's some stuff I could add something there, and so too far with it though. But the greatest way to improve upon your skills in some cases is actually to interpret or break down what some of your favorite artists' work looks like, and or even ink some of their stuff. That's what I'm doing here. I really like Elliot's work. Enjoy what he does, what he brings to the table. So I'm since emulating some of what he does. Of course, that probably has a lot to do with the fact that he emulates a lot of the artists that I appreciate, Sema, so forth and so on. He and I are roughly the same age. I'm a little bit older than he is. He's been working in the industry for many years, far longer. Although I think when before he was still in the military, back when I was trying to break into the industry. I think, I'm not sure, I'm scattered on a timeline. Listening to some of his videos and listening to some of the stuff he's talking about, I know there for a while he was working in the industry as a graphic designer, not in the comic book industry. I think that came a little bit later, maybe, I don't know. Watch my videos and find out. There's a lot of them. Although I have not been able to participate as of late in some of his videos, and I think he had to slow down because of financial crisis and financial issues in his personal life. And it doesn't help that I've been working a lot of overtime lately. Not by choice. I've been working a lot because of the COVID crisis. Working my day job, my main career, I should say, is transportation operator, public transportation company here in Philadelphia, surrounding areas. While it's not my chosen profession, not what I would prefer to be, how I prefer to be making money, I try not to complain too much about it, because the way I'm looking at it is, at least right now, I have a way of making an income. There are a lot of people out there who do not and are currently suffering. I feel bad for these people. I mean, this whole COVID crisis thing, pandemic is affecting a lot of people in worse, most horrible ways. And I pray for everybody. I hope everybody comes out of this all right. Say prayer. Well, there's a lot of people who already have not come out of this all right, so I shouldn't say that. I don't know. What is the correct political thing to say, or correct polite thing to say? Say one thing one way and you piss off one group of people. You say something another way and you piss off the other group of people. And all I'm trying to do is, Z, there we go, is empathize. Then again, that's part of the problem, because one side doesn't want you empathizing with the other. You shouldn't empathize at all. They're horrible. Honest with you, I'm finding out. I personally start. Everybody's acting horrible. It's just me. Enough of that. I'm starting to go down the road of politics. Hey. No political discussions here. Oh man. We are ending this 2020 season, 2020 year, and this has been a disastrous year. I can't wait for this year to end. Come to an end quick enough. Say though, telling people for a long time, stop wishing away your life. What I mean by that is we get into this habit of, oh, I can't wait again. God, I can't wait for the weekend to get here. You do realize you're wishing away your time. What can you do on weekends that you can't do now? Our time on this earth is so short as it is. I wish it away. Just appreciate the time we have. Appreciate the love we can share. The kindness you can bring to others. It's different again. It's away from my job and I can't stand my job. Well, here's a suggestion. We all, and myself included, need to find a way to enjoy our job, to make our jobs more enjoyable. As I find myself not times complaining about my job. And I hear about the poor guy or poor family who's getting evicted from their home because they don't have a job and they can't pay their bills because of the COVID thing. Having filed bankruptcy and lost my own house, and a few years ago during the last economic crisis, I empathize because I know how that feels. Humbly back in with my parents, with my own family, because I could not meet my financial obligations. Felt like my manhood was robbed from me. Worst feeling I ever felt. I know a lot of that was pride and vanity, but still. But then I had never had a problem trying to find another job, replacement work, and it was like that one swift point. I couldn't do it. Couldn't find a job. Took me a year and a half. Of course, that probably had a lot to do with the fact that I was trying to do something I shouldn't have been trying to do. If you'd like more on that story, you can go to my website, www.forceonestudios.com. Check out my blog. I've been describing my crazy events on that one right there. What do y'all think? When I'm done this, I'm going to send it to Elliot for critique. See what his thoughts are on. Tell him to be honest, brutal honest. Doesn't like it? Tell me. Although he doesn't like doing that too much because apparently he gets some flack from people. Told me, or what he said on one video. Some people don't want to hear the truth. Although his truth helped me out once, and I don't know if I ever thanked him for it, and I should thank him for it. I was commissioned a piece that somebody was going to put on a t-shirt. I did this illustration on paper, and at the time I really wasn't working digital at all. And he made a comment to me that said, this is great, it looks awesome, except that it's not finished. You need a finished piece for print, and it's not a finished piece. And at the time I couldn't understand what he's talking about. But then I went and I reviewed it and started looking at it, and I started realizing, okay, and I had already turned it into the artist. Or I turned it into the guy for print, and he came back. He said, listen, this is great, and I love it. And he goes, but this is not print quality according to my printer. He says, you need to tighten it up a bit more. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So that was actually my first foray and in trying to produce a printable print quality finished piece. And it was really actually kind of tough because I traced over the image on my computer in Photoshop using my mouse. Yeah. Simulate my brush strokes. By the time I was done, I got pretty good at it, pretty fast at it, but I was trying to simulate the brush strokes that I had used to do the piece. Just the mouse and the pen tool, clicking on it and stroking it. Yeah, I would use some smaller strokes to try to simulate the stroke pattern that was going on in the final, and it took me a long time, and I ended up losing a lot of money because of it, which was when I realized Elliot's advice about digital was very good. It was very good advice. Now, I had done pieces before and that I had used for print before, and I should have known better. I guess I was just because I wasn't charging a whole lot for the piece that I did did for the guy, because it was somebody I worked with. I just turned over original, and before I had done print quality piece for print before. But how I did it before was I made it, I scanned it, put it in Photoshop, turned to a Photoshop file, then placed it Photoshop file in Illustrator, then did a live trace, making sure the work was clean enough through Photoshop, and cleaning up some edges, getting rid of scratchy stuff and stuff like that. Then put it in Illustrator and did a live trace, and then put it back in Photoshop and did what I had to, and turned that in, which was good enough for the project I was working at years ago. But I was rushing through this thing, which was my fault. And Elliot called me on it. Thank you, Elliot. And I did a clean piece. I turned it into a much cleaner piece. When I turned it over to the guy, I gave him. Not only did I, but in that case, when I decided, okay, well, I got to do this the right way, even though I didn't charge him enough, which was my fault. The second time around, when I turned it over to him, I gave him not just a Photoshop file, but also an Illustrator file of the piece finished. You guys ever want to check that out? You can find that on my. Actually, I'll put that on my website. See it on my. You actually can see it on my website in one of the blog posts. I put it in there. It's bus driver hanging out of the window. I did this illustration of a SEPTA bus, and the person I did the piece for was a stand-up comic who was working at SEPTA at the time. Phil. John Phillips. Sorry, John Phillips. John A. Phillips. Philadelphia local legend. Does everyone check him out? He's a very funny guy. But he asked me to this piece called. It was for put on T-shirts. It was and it said, "Take this ride." Take this ride with me. Yeah. I got it. There we go. Let's back it up. See what from afar. It looks good. Looks alright. The fingers kind of blend in. That's what I did not want. Kind of blend in with the back of the hand. So I'm going to have to thicken up the lines on that. I don't want the fingers to blend in. I want them to stand out because they're in the foreground of the rest of the hand. Give that hand I think I started wearing out the Fifth Symphony. I just put it on. What I might do is this. Hold on. Out. Okay. There we go. It was getting to be a bit much. I do apologize. Anyway, I'm going to do this. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not doing an advertisement. Skip the advertisement. Yeah. Okay. Does that work? There we go. Yeah. There we go. That works. Just doing the there we go. Hopefully I'm not making it too loud for you guys. But so you guys know what I did. All I did was I took the music from my desktop. I clicked on YouTube, copyright free. I subscribed to the thing, and I'm playing that. There we go. Oop. I'm not really happy with that. Let's go. So I'm starting to see some of the lines that I missed because of the might have to change my settings on my screen here. My tablet. There are a lot of lines that I do not simply see. Of course, as it said again, it's also allowed to give my version, my interpretation of his piece. Why did the music stop? He's only the one video. He doesn't want to play. All right. There's a setting my son told me about once before. Get it to this. Just keep. All right. All right. Don't know. Back. And I have a playlist. Huh. click on it, play all.
So after breakfast time, it is time to take my vitamin. So again, this is a persona.
Let's go ahead and beat the commercial. There we go. Got rid of it. There we go. Is that better? A little bit upbeat humor here on this one. Am I ridiculous? The fun little bebop stuff. All right. Yes, I'm having fun. You see, it's getting a little my strokes and everything are getting a little bit more confident because I start out over here in this hand, or on this hand over here, and as I'm working through, you can see that I get more confident with what I'm doing. As I said, that's part of practicing and learning.
On your next video conference call, show up in a quick trip to your local Salvation Army thrift store. Our racks are stocked up with the items people.
The one drawback to doing it this way is get the commercials. Speaking of which, let me do this real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me do this real quick. I need you guys to pay attention here for a second, okay?
Hey everybody, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, and if you could, like and share the video.
There we go. Okay. Do that, please. I need all the help I can get. All right. Done. I'm about to wrap this up shortly. I have been on for almost an hour, but I gotta start getting ready for work. Again, want to emphasize up above you see Elliot Fernandez's the Jerkmonger, his Gumroad account. If you're interested in doing something, what I'm doing right now, which is really, as I said, it's really good practice. And for those who are trying to becoming an up and coming artist, and want to practice your skill set and become better. The only way you can become better, as Elliot Fernandez himself would say, is to actually do the work. Oh my God. There we go. It's like every single time. So anyway, let me do this. Okay, back to what I was saying. The Elliot Fernandez himself will tell you all the time, and he used to say this when I was watching a lot of his videos. The only way you get better is not through the tool you use, not through some special magical gift out there. You know, your talent will only get you so far. The only way you get better is by practicing. You have to continue practicing every single day. You have to put some time and effort towards it. That the only way you'll get better, and he's absolutely true. Another way of trying to help you get better and to improve your technique is by doing this, inking somebody else's work. Some of the best art inkers out there, they will tell you, are also good artists. To improve upon their skill, a lot of them, what they did was they inked other people's work. Or in the simple case of practicing, copying somebody else's work. You can copy other people's artwork, just never take credit. I repeat, never take credit for somebody else's artwork. If you're going to copy somebody else's artwork, always make sure you let everybody know this is my interpretation or me copying somebody else's work. Okay, you do not want to become one of those people. There's a lot of them out there, people who try to what they call that, perjure themselves. Oh my God, where you copy somebody else's work and try to take credit for yourself. My brain's, of course, not working right. Coffee, that's what coffee's doing, trying to help me get through the day and remember the stuff I'm supposed to remember. Coffee. So anyway, back to work, Mr. Lilly, back to work. So if you want to become better, Elliot Jerkmonger Fernandez selling this piece, you can practice inking it yourself on Gumroad. I told him he needs to come out and put out more stuff like this because I would buy it. Because I appreciate his skill, appreciate his talent, and I appreciate what he brings to the table. And I want to get better. And this is the perfect way to do it. Me. What do you guys think of that? I did some of that last night. Obviously, you see all this yourself. But again, I'm kind of happy that not all of it's shown. All the line work and everything is showing through on here. I kind of wish I saw more of it. A little bit more of it. Let me try something. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to adjust my screen settings to see if I can. And for some odd reason, seeing it's not. There we go. Should you try to put more contrast in there? No, contrast is not helping. Actually, try to put more contrast on there. Up contrast, it's taking away from this. That's text. Nope. Ooh, game. Nope. Movie. Nope. Standard. Text. Nope. Standard. No. I tried doing DCR. That doesn't do anything on the screen. Put team where it was at. I wish. I don't know why I just did that. I will say this. That, try doing something with it. Ah, cool. A lot more showing up. User. Huh. To do that. Back this down a little bit. Okay. That might actually help a bit. It's down to about 70. I am getting more. Hey, I'm getting more on my screen. You guys can't see it. Sorry. What I did when I went to color temperature, and I think for some reason I had set it to the red, greens, and blues, and I was losing a lot in the translation of the piece. It was just also in my face, and I don't know. Somebody tell me what OSD is. If you could leave that in the comments, I'd appreciate it. Signal source HDMI. OD on. Go ahead and let this put itself off so I can start working again instead of boring with me spending all this time doing settings. Oh, I am seeing so much more of the work now. It is a tremendously big difference. My end, anyway. You guys aren't seeing what I'm talking about. You're seeing through the screen, or through the video, which is probably showing you the screen. It depends on your screen, actually. But when I'm seeing screen on my computer, on my iMac, through the OBS, is not what I was seeing screen on my digital tablet. There was a lot of information not coming through. It was only the base information. So there's a lot that I probably could have been adding into this artwork that would have should have been included in the inking. While as I said before, I was kind of liking it a little bit in the beginning because it allowed me to do a little bit more of my own interpretation of what was doing. It was just the very base stuff. It started becoming a little bit more annoying as I was getting further into the piece because I realized, okay, well, now I'm losing way too much. I'm not translating some of Elliot's work, because this is Elliot's piece in here as an anchor. You want to be able to translate what he's looking for, his message in there as well. I mean, it's not just about your message as an anchor. So you're translating somebody else's work. Now, on some level, some artists don't care that when they'll let the finish anchor is considered a finisher. They'll let the finishes, the finisher, interpret the stylization. And in the 80s and the 90s, you saw a lot of that, where a lot of the artists, and earlier in the 70s, some of the more profound artists out there, they put very little to almost no detail in any of their work. It was what we thought was them was actually the finisher. Guy who's doing the finishes, and he was putting a lot of his own interpretation and spin on the work. And the penciler, who was doing the pencils, he was doing layout and design, stuff like that, but not really too much in the way of his own style in there. It's kind of ironic too, because then you would come around, and one day you would saw all of a sudden there would be a book where he's decided, I'm gonna go ahead and do my own finishes on my work, and like, wow, it looks different, way different than used to seeing. There might have been stuff, inks, that I liked more when he was doing the work, because he had an anchor that worked with him at all times, or her, depending on who was doing the work. And that person who was doing the work with them was doing their interpretation for years, which I guess there was something the original artist wasn't putting in there. But then also some of the original artists knew, it's like, well, the people seem to really feed upon this, and they like what my finisher did here, so let me make sure I incorporate that into my own piece from now on as well. It's all a game. My oldest son, my middle son, is home now and is walking around, thumping his foot, going up and down the steps, being extremely loud. But anyway, I don't know if he knows I'm doing. Probably should say something. It's okay. Though I'm probably, maybe, I don't know, you guys could hear the boom, 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 boom. He's a big kid like me. I should say not a big kid. Some say I would say I am, but he's a big guy like me. There we go. All right, well, it's an hour and 10 minutes into this video. And actually, so it's closing in. Time for me to start getting ready for work. Start getting myself mentally and physically the angst of being a public transportation operator. Yeah, I can already hear my stomach starting to grow. The stress of my current occupation has been playing havoc on my digestive system. Yeah. People would see me my artwork. Here's the ironic part: people would see me doing my artwork in my sketchbook and so forth on the trolleys or buses or whatever. Or they look at my artwork and they're like, all I ever hear all the time is, "Man, why aren't you doing that for a living? Why are you driving a bus or why are you driving a trolley? You shouldn't be doing this. You should be doing that. That's where your skill sets lie. You should be making a living doing that." And so I went and I created a store using on my website. By the way, again, www.forceonestudios.com, where I could sell some of my pieces that I have done over time. These marker sketch pieces, and I'm gonna start making prints of some of my digital sketches, digital artwork, the finished pieces. But anyway, I created this store on there, and it's like, okay, you know what? Everybody keeps telling me I need to start doing this, and let's go ahead and try it. And I don't know, maybe it's because the current state of the economy and stuff like that. But guess what? Nobody's buying. That's why I'm operating a trolley. Of course, and again, I don't have any titles to my name. It's not like I've been working in an industry. I can't say that I worked for Marvel or DC Comics because I haven't. But little work I did way back when in the 90s for myself, self-publishing, and so forth. I really never even got that far into it. And then I did do a book for a webcomic, or did for a webcomic in early 2000s, but nothing of note that I could put my name to and say, "Hey, I'm an artist here that I'm doing this." And you go, yeah, people will go, "Oh yeah, I want something from you." A lot of the work that I have done that out of the not in the realm of comic books was done. I've done logo work in the past, or I guess you say commission pieces. Somebody wants something, a commission. Say, "Hey, I want something drawn by you," but they wanted something specific. But if I did a piece and I set it aside, put it in my portfolio, and nobody ever wants to buy it, so it's fine. But if y'all who are watching wondering why I'm not doing this professionally, why I'm working as a operator for a transportation company, it's because, well, I've got to eat. I got to pay my bills. I got a wife and kids. Well, wife, my sons are getting older enough now where they can start taking care of themselves. Except for the youngest one, he's still in high school. He's getting there though. But come on. What the hell is going on here? Why is this thing doing this? There we go. Like something was holding this thing to a green arrow. I must have clicked something or done something. Anyway. Elliot told me not to get frustrated. There is a learning curve when using Clip Studio Paint. Also constantly try to remind myself that I have not been working digitally so I'm still, most all my work is traditional. There are some pieces. When I first started working digitally, I was using an iPad Air 2, not an iPad Pro, and because I couldn't afford an iPad Pro at the time, I still can't afford to go out and spend that kind of, I could, but my wife would get very mad at me for spending that kind of money, especially right now because we're trying to get some other things. Anyway, I was using an iPad Air that I've had for several years now, and not iPad Pro, iPad Air 2, and was using that, and I downloaded. Everybody's talking about Procreate. I downloaded the Procreate, but I quickly found out as time went on that I'm not getting all of the benefits that everybody else is getting from using Procreate on their iPad because my iPad was relatively older and it wasn't able to do all the wonderful things that other people could do because, well, they had the Apple Pencil and allowed them to do the extra stuff. I was using a stylus for a short period of time, but then quickly started realizing that the stylus wouldn't work like the iPad Pencil or the Apple Pencil. Like the Apple Pencil, and I was missing lines. Sitting there trying to draw a line, and the line wouldn't lay down on the paper because it was, it wasn't an Apple product. And I could have bought an Apple Pencil, but I was told that the Apple Pencil would not work the same way on the iPad as it would for my iPad, as it would for the more current iPads. So I'm like, well, why am I going to spend $100 for a pencil that's not going to give me all the features? And like that's when they go back to, well, that's why you need to get yourself an iPad Pro. Well, okay, well, are you going to give me one for free? Or are you going to reduce it by 50%? I could have bought one for refurbished for 50% of the cost, but still, even spending that kind of money right now, spending that money and upset my wife. This I bought saving up at a time, using out of my own little personal side savings account that she knows about. I didn't do that all behind her back. And I use that for my business, for Force One Studios. But I put some money aside here and there and did some artwork for people, and was able to afford to buy this tablet. And I bought this on eBay. I think it was eBay. Yeah, I bought this on eBay for $299. So Yuan GT. As I said, I was going to go with the Wacom. I wanted to go with the Wacom, but it was just so much money, and a lot of my friends, including Elliot, said, you know what? You do not have to start off with the big horse beginning. So you learn how to use this properly. Get yourself something more affordable. So this was the more affordable option. You give me some suggestions. Chris Gardner gave me a suggestion of using what he used for digital tablet wise for a while. I don't know if he still does because we don't talk as much as we used to. He had a I don't know if he still works with, probably now that he's working for Disney, probably has a Wacom. But was using Innova, and I did research, and I found some Unnovas. I was gonna buy one of them, but they were still a little up there in price as well. But they were far cheaper. And then I was reading about these because I saw this far less cheaper. What am I saying? I found this, which was a fairly decent price, $99. Actually, it was like $499 originally. Then it was $399. Then it went down to $299. A sale, $299, and went for it. Okay, I got that in my little personal account for putting money away, and I can still have some money left over in the account, and bought it. And I haven't regretted it, I'll be honest with you. Working digitally is fun. Then after I did that, I started working in Photoshop and Illustrator with my tablet, more Photoshop than Illustrator. This tablet, and learning the ins and outs, how to get some of the stuff that I want done on this. And then I finished pieces. I was talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people were using Clip Studio Paint. Between Clip Studio Paint and Procreate, there's a lot of people apparently use Procreate to do their work now. But again, they're using Procreate's an Apple thing, and they're using far better. Or they're using a far better iPad than I had. So, and I wasn't going to spend thousands of dollars on an iPad when I just bought this. So I went ahead and paid for the Clip Studio Paint. Again, saving my pennies and scraping some money together, and I did a project for somebody and got them to agree to pay me enough money. Project I did for them to buy this software, and bought it. Now I admit, unfortunately, the software sat for a while. I was still stuck with Photoshop because I knew how to do it and knew how to use it, and yeah, at least had a greater working knowledge of it. Because when I first got this, I was like, oh, open the bot, let me open up the software and try and work it. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know anything about what I'm doing. So I started watching some YouTube videos and trying to learn stuff. Then I started having more hours at work again, and things started getting off, family stuff. Again, it had to be put down for a while. I've had this software for probably since the beginning of this year, beginning of 2020. but it's only in the last 3 months that I really, or like 3 months that I started using it, and I'm watching more and more videos. And when there's something why can't I do this? I go on YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful tool for learning. I look up how do you do this? How do you do this? Although I will say that the rotating the image using this little thing right here and doing this, right? I learned that on my own. Just looking at it, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a way. And I went in here and I was like, okay, well, there's a little rotation thing here. And I'm like, okay, what if I click on that? Because when I click on that for my brushes, I'm able to manipulate my brushes. I clicked on it and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Here's a hand tool. Here's a rotate tool. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? And I started working it from there. Meanwhile, so you guys, I was going over here to view, going on to rotate for a while and just going here and clicking rotate left, rotate right. Long way of doing it, especially when you're trying, because it only rotates it ever so slightly, a little at a time. I spent 10 minutes trying to rotate my image to a direction that I felt comfortable with. Ink the image, because that's one thing I like doing when I'm doing when I'm drawing on paper, is I like rotating the paper or the art book to a direction where it's comfortable for my hand to draw something. I can get my brush stroke just ever so right. Anyway, my wife's about ready to come up and she's looking at me. Are you making a video? Anyway, all right. So I'm going to have to wrap this up because thank you very much for joining me here on Lilly Sketchpad. I will start working on this again and hopefully y'all join me. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye-bye. Where's my Lilly Sketchpad credits thing? There we go. Bye.